Here he is, turning with Bill Shoemaker. Bill, of course, also used to being ponied to the start. What a lovely little horse this is. Quite beautifully bred by Northern Dancer out of the dam of Seattle Slough. He certainly looks perfectly happy on the ground there, but will it test his stamina too far? I very much hope not, because how I'd love to see Bill Shoemaker win a Derby. That's number 12, Lomond. Let's look for his stable companion, Salmon Leap, Pat Eddery's choice. This very, very much bigger horse. He's really big to come down Tatnam Hill, but according to Pat, he's a well-balanced horse. He handled the mud perfectly all right in the Nijinsky Stakes, going down not brilliantly or extravagantly, but quite effectively and very nice and calm. Here's the favourite now, Teenoso, going down particularly well. I may be slightly prejudiced, but I think that's possibly the best action, and that and Lomond are the two I like best, the way they're going down. Doesn't take any hold. Leicester will be able to put him where he wants, and how fascinating it'll be to see how early Leicester goes to the front on Teenoso. He's never hit the front more than 2 furlongs from home before, but this is such an out-and-out stayer that I suppose he might. He's followed down by the Noble Player, and there's Sloopy going down perfectly calmly, even on this nasty downhill run. No leaders, no ponies, no worry. And Yves Saint-Martin has made a perfectly good job of it. So it's really nice to see, and the very best of luck to him and to Sloopy. As you can see, it's quite a downhill run as Tyrion going past into the frame, and Tolomeo, Gianfranco Dettori on Tolomeo. Those are colours to watch for, because Dettori will need to hold Tolomeo up, and in this field there are an awful lot of moderate horses who will be dropping back as they're going down Tatnam Hill, and it's there that beaten horses act like floating landmines, getting in the way of the good ones coming up from behind. It's there that experience in the Derby counts so high, and it's there so far. Leicester Piggott always managed to steer clear of trouble, or clear of most trouble anyway. There's number 1, Appeal to Me, the grey Shearwalk. There's the Noble Player. Really tough little colt, this. He's by the Minstrel, which certainly ought to give him a good chance of staying, but his damn Noble Mark, by On Your Mark, was a sprinter, and so far the Noble Player tried 1.25 miles once and ran badly, but that was probably because of condition. As I told you, he beat Diocese the other day, and that's no mean achievement. Now then, I think Judith Chalmers has got something for us. Well, there's one of the outsiders, Holmbury, the Noble Player, who we've seen before with the yellow cap. 27. Oh, I believe we lost sound from Judith Chalmers. I'm so sorry. You weren't able to get the wise advice she was going to give you. There's Teenoso, still perfectly calm. They cross the road there. There's a small gate. They go through the road and down onto the narrow walkway, which goes downhill first and then uphill to the start. There's Gianfranco Dettori on Tolomeo, who looks wonderfully calm and cool. Let's see how he's going in the betting, and the others too.
Tolomeo is 14-1 from 12. Teenoso, the 11-2 favourite from 5-1. Salmon Leap at 6s. Morcon 10-1, and Wassel and Lomond also at 10s. Carlingford Castle 12-1 from 14s. Tolomeo 14-1. Shearwalk 16-1. The Noble Player 16s. Guns of Navarone and Pluraline both at 20-1. Zoffany and Gordian 25-1. Yarwa at 50s, and Sloopy 100-1. Neorian and Na also 100-1 chances. Tivian 200-1. Mitilini and Appeal to Me both at 500-1, and Holmbury the 1,000-1 outsider. All 21 show.
1,000-1. There they go about poor old Holmbury. I don't know whether he's favourite to finish last. It certainly sounds as if he might be. Well, as they pile down across the course, some of the lads come down and lead their own horses across. Derby has that in common with the Grand National. The lads very often come to the start. See, one of that. I think that's Morcon, and now Morcon is beginning to boil up a little bit. We feared he might, and he's got his lad with him. That's Steve Grayson, and Morcon is boiling up a little bit, but as Dick Hearn said before, maybe he'd be worse off if he didn't sweat. He just may be that sort of horse. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Well, there's Freddie Head, as we've said so many times. He has had some bad experiences at Epsom. Derek Thompson was talking to him earlier on. He asked Freddie whether he was hoping for a change of luck.
When it's finished?
I hope so.
What sort of horse does he like to ride? Is he good?
He's been good lately. His last two runs, he acted well. Last year, as a 2-year-old, he was a bit difficult. He was a bit free and, you know, very green. But this year, he's been working well, and everything's been fine.
French horses have been dominating the classics over Europe at the moment. I mean, do you think this horse could win the Derby today?
I think so. I think he's got a good chance. He has good form. He was a brilliant 2-year-old. He ran well. He was third the other day in a good race in Paris behind Les Migrants. And he's got classic form. I don't know. I think he could win. I mean, he's got as good a chance as many others, I think.
Well, I quite agree. He has certainly got just as good a chance as many others. He's beautifully bred by the minstrel out of a sister to Critique, who's a real good mile-and-a-half horse. And Pluralism in the Prix Lupin was third to Les Migrants, who's almost certainly the best middle-distance 3-year-old in France. So I quite agree with Freddie Head that Pluralism's got a real good chance, and I just wish him luck with Tapton Corner. You see them being led down by the policeman who's going alongside Joe Mercer on Nar, no doubt wishing Joe luck. Nar, as I said, was ridden by Jeff Lewis the other day. There's Ptolomeo and one of the sangsters. That's Salmon Leap in the proper colours. There's Yawa and the favourite, Teenoso. Following along behind him is Mytilene. Well, as you know, Bill Shoemaker didn't know until this morning which of Mr. Sangster's pair, Lomond and Salmon Leap, he was going to ride. Derek Thompson was talking to him too, and he asked Mr. Shoemaker when he heard of the change.
Well, I think I found out this morning, the morning of the race was this morning, and it really didn't make any difference to me. If I know they're both nice horses, and Lohman won the 2,000 guineas, so he's got a lot of class, as you know. And if he handles the ground all right, I'm sure he's got a good chance.
Will he stay the trip? This is the big question everyone's asking.
Well, that I don't know. I haven't ridden him, so I can't give you that opinion about him. All I can tell you is that I'll try to make him get the trip.
Yeah. And is the world's most winning jockey going to win the race that's eluded him so far, the Derby?
I'm going to give it the best I can, I'll tell you that.
And the best he can is very, very good indeed. I would expect Bill Shoemaker to what the Americans call rate Lomond, that's to say drop him out and ride a real waiting race on him. He knows that Lomond's got plenty of speed, and he'll hope to beat this fellow we're looking at, which is Salmon Leap, Pat Edry's choice. A wonderful, fine, big horse, big, good-looking horse, isn't he? As I told you, he's a half-brother to King's Lake, who had those tremendous duels with Turagori Moo over a mile. Now, I think that Morcon, there's Morcon, I think, in the middle of our picture. But in any case, Willie Carson, Derek Thompson and I both really assumed that Willie would be delighted about the rain. But when Derek Thompson asked him about that, the answer wasn't quite what we expected.
Well, I shouldn't think it's hindered him, but being by Morstan, and all the Morstan horses that we've had before have liked the firm ground, and possibly this horse will like the firm. But he handled the ground very well at Goodwood to win the predominant stakes, and he won that race by 6 lengths. So he shouldn't be inconvenienced too much anyway.
I know over the years you're always a bit superstitious about the Derby. You tend to wear the same socks, the same shirt. Are you still superstitious like that?
No, after being beaten 2 years, I've got entirely new clothes on. So I don't smell too much today.
Could have been back on the winning trail today?
Well, hopefully this suit will help me, yes. You never know. It's a wide open race, and I think I've got a 10-to-1 chance anyway.
And there he is, as you see. Morcon only sweating up slightly. I think that's a perfectly acceptable amount of sweat. I wouldn't say he's sweating as much as he did when he won so easily at Goodwood. And I don't believe that Dick Hearn, if he's looking in, will be too anxious about that. Steve Grayson, his lad, leading Morcon, and I agree. He's got a real each-way chance because we know he gets the trip. He stays every yard of a mile and a half. Behind him there is the noble player who may not stay a mile and a half. There's Wassell going through our picture. Another Sangster one, that was Salmon Leap. There's number 7, his Guns of Navarone, probably the best of Captain Lemos. Ptolomeo in the hoops there. Ptolomeo followed by the other Lemos runner, Neorion, who, as I told you, is quite likely to make the running. But let's go and find out something, I hope, from McCurrick in the ring.
They found the bottom line beyond which Teenoso cannot fall, and that was 6-1. One bookmaker went 6-1. A great crowd swamped him, and the horse is now 5-1 and 9-2 Teenoso. Tell you one interesting story. Ladbrokes, that's the biggest off-course office firm. They came in, had a monkey that's £500 on at 5-1 with John Banks. John Banks, and as the representative walked away, said, "I'll take 10,000 to 2 Teenoso," and the Ladbrokes man turned around and took him. So that is why the 5 is now virtually gone, and it's 9-2 Teenoso. Salmon Leap, very solid, 6-1, 13-2. Money coming in now for Morcon and Willie Carlton at 9 and 8-1. And also Ptolomeo, pretty solid at 14-1. But Teenoso, fascinating, he's 9-2, isn't it?
Well, there is Teenoso. And what I'm fascinated about, much more than his price, is the tactics which Lester Piggott employs on him. Because he knows that Teenoso gets a mile and a half really well, and presumably he will want to see that the faster horses like Lomond are really tested for stamina. As I say, Lester has never hit the front further than 2 furlongs from home, and usually a good deal closer home than that. But today on Teenoso, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see him up there quite early in the straight. Harry Ragg, of course, was the great head waiter. He also used to come from behind most often in the Derby. And he was telling me the other day he liked very much to get over on the rails by the top of the hill. It'll be interesting to see who gets that position, because, as Harry Ragg said, once you're on the rails, you've only got one thing to worry about, the one outside you. I think Bruff now has got Teenoso's lad with him, so over to you, Bruff.
Yes. Tony Major, you led Teenoso up. What's he like as an individual?
Well, he's a very sensible horse, and he's, well, you can't really fault him in any way, so.
Do you think he's good enough, though? You've seen him at home with your other horse, Hot Touch?
Yes, I do.
What about Lester? Do you think Lester thinks he's good enough? What did he say to you before you left go?
He didn't say much.
Good luck. We'll see you in a second.
Okay, thank you.
Good man.
Well, I would have been quite worried if I'd heard that Lester Piggott had said much before the horse was let go. But he'll be thinking now, and you can bet he will have worked out the best tactics. Right, for the 204th Derby, over to you, Graham Gould.
It's over 1.5 miles. That's a 12 furlong to trip. Holmbury, the one nearest to us, smartly into his stride. Holmbury disputing the early running in the early stages from Gordon in second place. Then just in behind these comes Nar, and up on the outside, Sloopy going very well on the very wide outside with Neorion. And it's Sloopy on the extreme left of the picture who leads the overall field from Neorion, Morcon up there, Teenoso not too far away. And as they continue their uphill journey, very, very closely grouped indeed, with Sloopy now being headed by Neorion, and it's Neorion in the lead from Sloopy in second place. Then just in behind these comes Nar, then Lester Piggott on Teenoso in a prominent position. The back marker is Lomond down by a little way, but it's now Mittelini that has come through to take up the running. Go to the hill on the far side, and it's Mittelini, Sloopy on the outside. Then just in with these comes Teenoso going very well. Behind these Neorion, then Guns of Navarone, Holmbury, Lomond is the back marker, Yarwar is towards the rear, so too is Zoffany, and as they continue their uphill climb to the point 7 furlongs from home, it's Mittelini in the lead from Lester Piggott on Teenoso in second place, then Sloopy on the outside of Gordian, then just in behind these comes Carlingford Castle, and it's Mittelini in the lead from Teenoso in second place, then just in behind these comes Tivian, who's made up ground, then comes on the outside Naorian. They begin the descent to Tattenham Corner, Mittelini from Tivian, Teenoso, then Zoffany next to the rails, Carlingford Castle on the outside, the American horse Sloopy is on the middle division, Wassell is trying to come with a run, and as they begin the turn into the home straight, come down to Tattenham Corner, it's Tivian and Mittelini who disputed, from Teenoso in second place. Then just in behind these comes Gordian, and there's a faller at the rear of the field, and it's difficult to distinguish who it is at this stage. Mittelini in the lead from Tivian in second place, then comes Teenoso in third. These are followed by Naorian in fourth, turning into the home straight, and it's Salmon Leaf who's improving just in behind these, and it's Mittelini from Teenoso, Lester Piggott on Teenoso, committed and goes for home, and it's Teenoso, Lester Piggott with 2.5 furlongs to go. Teenoso in the lead from Mittelini in second place, then comes Naorian, Guns of Navarone is staying on, then comes Salmon Leaf and Lester Piggott with 2.5 furlongs to go. It's clear on Teenoso, 2 furlongs to go, and Teenoso clear from Guns of Navarone second, Carlingford Castle is third, then comes Salmon Leaf beaten but in fourth place, then Shearwalk a furlong and a half to go, and Lester Piggott in the lead. Carlingford Castle is chasing in second place, and well inside the 5.5 furlong. Lester Piggott coming home on his 9th Derby winner, Teenoso, from Carlingford Castle in second place, coming up towards the line. Teenoso's going to win it from Carlingford Castle. Teenoso the winner, Carlingford Castle second, a photo for third between Shearwalk and Salmon Leaf, then Guns of Navarone and Nar, then Pluralism and Morcon and Ptolomeo and Gordian, then the Noble Player and Mittelini, then Naorian and Wassell, and the faller was Yarwar. Towards the rear was Lomond, last of all was Holmbury, in fact last, but trailing in and disappointed is Zoffany, and so the result of this, the 204th Derby, a win for number 25 Teenoso, owned by Mr. Eric Moller, trained at Newmarket by Geoffrey Ragg, ridden by Lester Piggott. That's Lester Piggott's 9th Derby winner. Second was number 3 Carlingford Castle, ridden by Michael Kinane, and a photograph for third place between Shearwalk and Salmon Leap. But the 204th Derby has gone to Lester Piggott on Teenoso. Lester has made the right choice. He had the choice between him and Ptolomeo. Lester was in no doubt that Teenoso was his ride. He, in fact, has won. There he is at the top of the picture. Lester on his 9th Derby winner, the number 25 horse Teenoso, owned by Mr. Eric Moller, trained at Newmarket by Geoffrey Ragg, ridden by Lester and bred by Eric Moller at the White Lodge Stud in the United States of America.
Well, what a marvellous performance. He did strike the front further from home than ever before in his career. And
Congratulations, Lester. You've set an all-time record. 9 winners. Fantastic.
Thanks.
It looked very easy. Come on. Keep going. Come on. And there's so much cheering down here that the horse just pricking his ears. Lester, it looked easy from the stands, was it?
Yeah, it was, couldn't believe it was so easy, no?
Nothing came at you at all?
No, I was running away, all the way.
You were. Oh, and we're really going now. Quite a bit of cheering down here. It's causing quite a bit of panic. Stable that out the front, shielded by the 2 horses. The photographers in front of them making his way towards that coveted Derby winner's circle.
well, he couldn't believe how easy it was, and that was how it looked to us. I don't yet have news of who the faller was. I can only tell you that it was it was Yarwar. It was Yarwar, I'm now told. We will tell you, of course, as soon as possible, news of Philip Waldron, and if we can, of what caused that fall. It was, happily, it was among the back markers, so there was, I hope, there was no need for Philip to get kicked around too much. But Lester Piggott, well, what a lovely ride he must have had. He had a beautiful position down the hill, not actually on the rails. I think Mr. Ragg would probably have liked him to be one closer to the rails. He was one off the rails, in fact. I've just heard. I'm delighted to hear from Graham Good that Philip Waldron has got out of the ambulance in the place reserved for the third and is perfectly all right. And I think Yarwood was all right too, so that there's been no casualties in this 204th Derby. And what a lovely scene. The greatest Derby jockey of our time, maybe of all time, Lester Piggott, dismounting in the hallowed winner's circle for the 9th time. There's Mrs. Trish Ragg greeting him. Off he goes to weigh in, and nobody said don't forget, I shouldn't think. Shearwalk was third. So I believe Mr. Sangster had both third and fourth, because I think Salmon Leap was fourth. Shearwalk third, Salmon Leap fourth. So he hasn't quite emulated Michael Dickinson. We think he was the first person. And there's